I'm literally begging you to start a med spa right now. And I don't say this lightly. I've been a healthcare consultant for over 20 years, and I work with med spa owners all over the United States every single day. I've seen what works and I've seen what fails. And I've seen a lot of people lose a lot of money doing this the wrong way. So when I tell you I'm begging you to start one, it's not because it's easy. It's because right now in 2026, there's a window opening up that most people are completely missing. And the people who see it and move on it are gonna build something incredibly profitable, while everyone else is still sitting on the sideline wondering if it's too late. In this video, I'm gonna show you exactly why this window exists, the real numbers behind what a well-run med spa actually produces, and the 3 biggest fears that are actually stopping you from getting started that are actually wrong. And if you're seriously considering this and you want help trying to figure out how to structure it the right way, you can book a free call with me through the link in the descriptions. So let me tell you what most people are getting completely wrong about the med spa industry right now. If you've been paying attention, you've probably seen the headlines. States are cracking down on med spas. New regulations are coming in and places are getting shut down or investigated. And most people look at that and think, see, it's getting harder. I missed my window. But that's the wrong conclusion. What's actually been happening is the med spa industry has been acting like the Wild West for years. You've had med spas running without a physician or a nurse practitioner ever setting foot in the practice. Remote medical directors are signing paperwork, but never actually overseeing anything. People are performing procedures that probably shouldn't be doing them, and patients are starting to notice. They're asking more questions, they're doing more research, and they're wanting to know exactly who's behind the treatments they're getting. So yes, regulations are increasing, but honestly, that's one of the best things that could ever happen to somebody who wants to do it the right way. But the regulation piece is only half the story, because when you actually look at what a well-run med spa produces financially, that's where this gets really hard to ignore. A med spa doing $1 million a year in revenue, which is very achievable after running a few years correctly, should be producing anywhere from $200,000 to $275,000 in profit after all your expenses. So that's roughly 20 to 25% profit margin. Now, compare that to a traditional insurance-based medical practice. Most physicians are dealing with massive overheads, delayed reimbursements, claim denials, write-offs, huge admin costs, just to get paid. Meanwhile, med spas are primarily cash-based pay. Take IV therapy, for example. Your supply cost might be between $30 to $50. The patient's going to pay about $150 to $300. Or microneedling. Your disposables might be about $35 for the cartridge and maybe extra for a PRP kit. But the treatment sells between $300 to $600 depending on what add-ons you do. And the patient usually continues 3 to 6 times for optimal results. That's where the economics gets really attractive. You have a higher revenue per patient, strong profit margins, reoccurring revenue, and immediate payment at the time of the service. That's why so many physicians and entrepreneurs are moving into this space right now. But I know what you're probably thinking, because there are a few fears that stop almost everyone from actually pulling the trigger on this. And I want to address them directly. Here are 3 fears that I hear every single time someone's starting to think about opening a med spa. And honestly, all 3 are either overblown or way more manageable than people think. The first is cost. Yes, it's expensive to open a med spa. Depending on the market and the equipment, you may spend anywhere from $70,000 to a few $100,000. But a well-run med spa can realistically produce $200,000 or more a year in profit. That means the startup investment can potentially be recouped after a few years. And the biggest mistake that I see people making is that they need every single machine right now. But you don't. Start with high profit margin services like one laser, microneedling, IV therapy, and build your cash flow first. Then reinvest it to another machine or a bigger machine. The second fear, competition. People always tell me there are so many med spas in my area. But when I look closely at the saturated area, most of the med spas are poorly run. They have weak branding, no systems, no idea about the business side, high staff turnover, and constant discounting. That's not real competition. A well-run med spa with strong patient retention and a good, consistent patient experience stands out every time. So the market isn't saturated with great med spas. It's saturated with average ones. And the third fear is, I don't know how to run a business. And honestly, this one's fair. Most physicians were never taught how to market, hire, create SOPs, financing. But every skill that's needed to run a med spa is learnable. You already made it through medical training, so you can absolutely learn how to read a P&L statement, how to build systems, and how to manage a team. You just need guidance and willingness to treat this like a real business, because that's the difference. Med spa owners who win long term are not always the best injectors. They're the ones who understand how to run a business. And when I say treat it like a business, I mean knowing your numbers. That's exactly why we built the KPI Intelligence Dashboard. It's specifically for med spas and private practice physicians. It takes about 5 minutes a month to fill out, and it shows you exactly what's working, what's not, and where your biggest opportunities are. We're offering a free month right now. The link's in the description if you want to learn more. But here's the biggest shift happening right now. The med spas ahead in 2026 are not the ones where the owner is having to control every little thing all day long. They're the ones with systems, documented processes, automated follow-ups, consistent patient experiences, and a clear way to track your numbers. That's what allows a practice to scale without the owner having to constantly put out fires. 5 years ago, you needed a much bigger staff and budget to run things efficiently. Now you can automate reminders, build SOPs with AI, and track your business in 1 to 2 dashboards. You can run much leaner from day one. And that matters because owners who build systems early get their time back faster, which allows them to grow the business instead of being trapped inside of it every day. I've been around healthcare for over 20 years, actually my entire life, because my dad was a doctor. And honestly, the combination of growing demand, tightening regulations, and better business tools is creating one of the biggest opportunities for private practices and med spas that I've seen in a very long time. People who move on this now are going to be glad they did a few years from now. And that's why I'm begging you to seriously consider opening a med spa. But if you decide to move forward, there are some crucial mistakes that can set you back months or sink your whole thing before you even get started. And I made a whole video on this, walking through key things med spa owners wish they knew before they started, so you can avoid the hard lessons and build things the right way from day one. And if you're serious about this, then that video is your next step. I'll see you in there.